Hi, my name is Lee, and as you can see, I underwent some changes. This is a video where I will talk about my thoughts on the first episode of the new Star Trek Picard series. And just for my subscribers and previous viewers, I will talk a little bit in the next minute, so skip to 1.5 minutes if you want to hear the thoughts. Basically, I changed. I present myself as a lady now, as you can see. I didn't work on my voice yet, and you don't have to use new pronouns, although it is appreciated if you do. I'm staying with the name Lee, although it's written differently, the feminine way. It's not very creative. I might change that once in the future after I'm sure about it, but not for now. Lee is fine. I'm not permanently a goth girl. That's just my outfit for today. I wanted to try it out. But I dress myself like this in public with a wig and makeup and stuff. And it's been great so far. That's one of the reasons why I took such a long pause. You can expect one more final video for the Kikonia Let's Play, Let's Read, whatever. But I've been kind of slacking on that. Yeah, so just be patient. And with that, let's dig into this episode. In the first episode, we are introduced to Picard again. And basically all the plot elements, I think, have been introduced so far with Romulans, like what happened to their star. I mean, that's been introduced before in the Star Trek 2009 movie. It's basically a big reminder. And new information we have learned is androids are banned because they blew up Mars, which I don't like. I hate how they always have to blow up planets nowadays to keep stuff interesting. And Picard has been not depressed, but kind of doing his own thing and not being active. He's an admiral now, a retired admiral, sorry. We don't actually know a whole lot that happened with the Romulans after the star went supernova. Apparently it was said that it was their star of the Romulus system that went supernova. I missed that, but I read it on the Memory Alpha page. Now, Data's daughter, I thought it was a bit weird that they didn't mention his other daughter he had, and she died. Like, Picard kind of alludes to it. Is that even the word to use? Allude? Yeah, like he says he always wanted a daughter, but for me that sounds weird. It's like he had a daughter. Just because she's dead, it doesn't mean he never had one. So maybe they would have to pay royalties to the writer of that episode if they mention her name. I don't know. I just thought that was a little missed opportunity. It's very action-focused, this first episode. They have a lot of shooty stuff, and yeah. It's actually not very action-focused, I wouldn't say that. I thought the pacing was a bit weird, like lots of action, and then randomly it felt a bit, not rushed, because it doesn't seem rushed, just very quick. And I wished we could have more of these calm moments, or some of the calm moments could have been longer, if the episode had 5 more minutes. The most jarring example would be when Picard wakes up after the explosion and what we thought was the main character just died. And then, like, it's not even a minute, the scene from huge explosion, death, waking up, and then he's like, I remember her fondly, and waking up, and he's already dealt with this loss. Like, he's already over it when he wakes up and opens his eyes. That was a bit weird. I also didn't understand that. I think the fractal positronic duplication or whatever Maddox has been working on. That's very far-fetched. It's just magic, how it was described. And I don't buy it. It's technobabble. I mean, it's expected of Star Trek. But I wish it... Maybe they will shed some more light onto it. It's only the first episode, so I can't really criticize anything yet. And be fair to watch the series. But I hope that's one thing they elaborate on. Like, what's up with this technology that can do that? And I'm torn. I don't know whether I want them to revive Data once and for all. It kind of diminishes his sacrifice. You know, it's the same with Spock. We got great stuff after he was revived, so I guess I'm glad they revived Spock, but it takes away from the death, you know. Then again, that happened in Nemesis, and sure, take away from that. I don't want to rewatch that movie anyway. So I guess I do want them to revive Data, just because he would then be in canon in the future. He could be a captain or whatever. That would be interesting. As for... I didn't understand. I think it's just been said that they created twin sister androids because Maddox wanted to. But when I first watched it, and I only watched it once, it sounded like there was a reason for it, a technological reason, which made it sound really far-fetched and weird. But I think that was just me misunderstanding. Because I read that apparently no such, or rather I didn't read that, so it's only been my imagination, I guess. Yeah, so there's nothing too weird about it. I guess it is a bit weird that one of them just died so quickly, like introduced and died in the first episode. Like the loss wasn't really felt, you know. As for Romulans having a Borg cube, it makes sense that they would definitely use it if they had one. And one theory I read on the Daystrom Institute subreddit, I really like that one, is that the supernova happened because they were experimenting with Borg tech. Like, if you remember the finale from Voyager, what did I want to say? The transwarp hub, that allows them to travel all over the galaxy, that was placed on a sun or in the vicinity of a sun, so it was implied that they used that energy. Maybe it was even said. I haven't seen that episode in forever. And the theory is that the Romulans tried to get into that network or use it somehow with their own sun, or maybe that one of the transwarp exits is powered by their sun to begin with, and the Borg had, like, as a retaliation, they sent an explosion, a shockwave, or whatever, trilithium bomb over the transwarp hub to blow up the sun as a means of saying, hey, fuck off, this is our network. That made sense to me. Maybe they will use that. I'm curious how much light will be shed on things we don't fully understand yet, and how much is staying obfuscated. I hope I used that word correctly, because I can't remember the easier word right now. I think it's cool to have some mysteries, but I definitely don't want more raised than answered. That said, there is a season 2, so even if nothing is truly answered in season 1, there's still hope. So far, I like this a lot more than Discovery. To be honest, I hate Discovery, which will get me a lot of downvotes. But I appreciate it when people like Discovery. I mean, more power to you, right? It's great that you can enjoy that. I didn't. And so far, they didn't do as much drama and, like, melodrama is what I didn't like about Discovery. And that's been mostly absent here. I didn't like the scenes with that Romulan guy and the other twin sister that much. I, I kind of don't like the characters so far, but it's been like, what, 2 minutes, so that can change easily in the next few episodes. Picard is, of course, great. We didn't see Riker's guest appearance yet, or Troy, or Seven, so I'm looking forward to that. I just want to say what I thought made a lot of sense is that androids are banned. It seems like a very Starfleet thing to do. Like, it's basically one-to-one. The analogy is to the, what are they called? The improved guys like Khan. Augments, that's their name. Like, they banned all genetic manipulation unless it's like just to cure a sickness, but no improvement. Just for hundreds of years, banned. No excuses. That's so doing the same for androids because of one incident seems very Starfleet-like. Or Federation-like. I don't know. It's always confusing how they use it interchangeably sometimes in the series, so I don't bother using the correct terminology. I mean, if it's banned in the Federation, it's obviously also banned in Starfleet. What I do hope is they don't do more Section 31 stuff. It was fun in Deep Space Nine, but even then it wasn't like the most fun. It was an interesting concept for these few episodes, but I didn't like how they brought it back in the reboot movies, in Enterprise, although that wasn't a huge plot point, so it was okay. And Discovery. I don't like Section 31. I think the concept is interesting, but they work better if they are mysterious and not involved in everything, or they aren't shown to be involved in everything. It works better as this mysterious force that works in the shadows and not on screen, you know. So those are my thoughts. I hope we'll get to see space battles. I love the one scene where we saw the Enterprise D. Yeah, I like the physical model more than the CGI, but it was good CGI. I thought the data scenes were great. Like, short enough so it doesn't feel like, oh yeah, you're only showing it to please the fans. They made sense. That's what's important to me. Yeah. I really like the data scenes. There's some stuff like the archive. I didn't quite understand. Does every person or every more important person have their own archive? And why? And like, how does it work when Picard places this painting in there? Does he say, "Index, please file this item under blah blah blah. It is drawn, painted by Data. It has the title so and so. It was painted in 2369. I think that's the actual date. It's a 69 joke. That's official. It's not a 69 joke. It's just a number. Like, it just seemed weird to think about it. That everyone can have their own thing. Also, why did he have it in this locked sci-fi box? Was it that important? I guess it is important because it's from his friend, his dear friend. But it's like, you know, I have mementos and I just have them lying in a locker, or not in a locker. That's the point. I don't need to be that secure about it. That's like a really small point. Ignore it. I'm not that. I don't criticize that. It's just something I noticed. I liked how Picard is too slow to run upstairs. He looks very old, Patrick Stewart, but I mean Picard is very old. Yeah. One thing on his vineyard, whatever it's called, sorry. It's not English, not my native language. He has like tons of these drones that water everything. Wouldn't it be more energy efficient if he just had like two and they fly across? Or does wine, like those grapes, do they actually have to be watered? without interruption the all day long, 24 hours? Is that how it works? I don't know. I don't know how wine stuff works. But it's weird that he had so many drones flying around. And they consume fuel. Sure, you're post-scarcity, but be a bit more efficient, Picard. What are you doing? And 2 drones is enough. If one is not working anymore, he can program a new course for the other one. I just thought it was wasteful. The interview was cool. Well, it was okay as exposition and stuff. I read that there was a Telluride in this episode with a new redesign. I thought I saw a Telluride. I read that after seeing the episode. And I thought the guy, like, whether it was camera team or whatever, like standing behind the couch or something, he had like teeth coming out here. I thought that was a Telluride. So I think that was the Telluride, but I couldn't find a photo where someone says, yeah, this is the Telluride. If it is a redesign, I'm okay with that. I'm really curious whether Klingons with new redesigns will show up. I hated the Discovery redesign. Not only because they didn't have hair, but there's too many prosthetics. I think less is more. I can completely understand upgrading from original series to TNG Klingons, because the original series basically had no real makeup, no good makeup and prosthetics. So it made sense to have a more modern, but I think the Klingon design is pretty timeless. Could have made a few more prettier ridges and maybe add a little bit here a ridge or like here one ridge, but leave the face intact. I think the face, you need to see the emotion and stuff of the actor. I think that's important. And also making them bald, it just makes people boring. Nothing against bald people, of course. But if you're talking about an alien race, like the Klingons, they did suffer. That's something I wish they redesigned. They all had kind of the same hair in Deep Space Nine and TNG, like long, flowy, weird hair. Like only Worf had some variety. I think it would be cool if we have Klingons with different hairstyles. What they did for the Romulans so far, or what we see in the trailer. That's fun. That's a fun change. New hairstyles. Because it makes sense that it actually doesn't make sense that all Vulcans and Romulans have this weird bowl cut. Like, is that the most efficient thing? Is that the most logical haircut? A bowl cut? I don't know. It never made much sense to me. So that's one redesign I would be looking forward to. I just hope the Klingons aren't ugly. I don't really have that many thoughts. They introduce a lot of stuff. I like the actress for Taj, is that her name? Taj? I don't remember. The other one has a different name, right? So I don't need to remember. That's great. All in all, I was pleasantly surprised. If I had to give it a rating, between 1 and 5, I would give it a 3 out of 5. It was a decent intro. And there is room for this to get a 4 out of 5 if in the future I realize how much was hinted at and stuff. And there's also the potential to lower this to a 2 out of 5 if I realize that, it contradicts stuff, or, I don't know, was a bad setup for the rest of the series. So pretty neutral, but pleasantly surprised. I didn't want to get my hopes up again. But I like it. It gets a thumbs up and a recommended from me. I hope you liked my thoughts on this. My name is Lee, and maybe I'll do this for every episode. Maybe immediately after watching it, maybe the day after, maybe the week after. I don't know. However I feel like at the moment. I hope you liked my thoughts. Subscribe if you want to see more. I also have a few Let's Plays. I'm not doing many Let's Plays nowadays. Yeah, but I will do one conclusion episode that will be a bit longer for my Kikonia Let's Read. I've read 7 or 8 chapters more after I left off after the last video. But then I stopped for a long time. But I will finish it, take fewer notes, just get it done with. Spoiler alert, I don't like it that much. I like it, but it's boring. It's hard to get through, is what I'm saying. The pacing But that was a problem of Umineko as well, episode 1 in particular, so... Yeah, that's that. Bye!